Hi there, welcome to 5D TV. I'm your host, Tania Kolar. Today I'm joined by chiropractic doctor Nancy Korenic, and she's going to share health from her perspective. She's going to give you some great tips to help you enhance your well-being and to quantum leap your personal growth. Such a pleasure having you here. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is so great. So let's talk about chiropractic, because I think there's so much misinformation out there, and people have a different sort of philosophy or belief of what chiropractic is. So first off, what is it?
So chiropractic is really about connection, and it was founded in 1895 by D.D. Palmer, and it's basically it's an art, philosophy, and science, and it's healing from within without the use of drugs or surgery. It's connecting you to your inner healer, because we have an innate intelligence, and it's clearing the nervous system, allowing the brain and the body that full connection to be restored, so that your body can heal from within as intended.
So what kind of techniques do you use to help restore, the immune system, or the nervous system, I should say?
The nervous system. So we do adjustments. So I'm specifically looking for interferences in the spinal cord, or basically between the brain and the body. There can be what we call subluxations, and those are really areas of interference where it's really where you have bad reception between the brain and the spinal cord, and that interferes in your body's ability to heal.
So what does that interference look like?
So what does it look like? It looks like, it can be described, but it's very simply as a bone out of place, pressing on the actual nerve, disturbing the connection between the brain and the body. So everything's connected in our bodies. Nothing's on Wi-Fi. So the brain is constantly sending signals down our spinal cord, out the bones of our back, through the nerves to every muscle, every cell, every tissue in our body. So when there's an interference, whether that's a bone out of place or the energy is just disrupted in a spinal segment or anywhere along the spine, it gives off a different frequency, and the connection is lost, okay? So when you have that connection lost, then whatever organ, muscle, or cell that's going to is not connected, and that's where ill health can happen. So you could have injury, you could have muscle spasm, you could have pain, you could have the beginnings of a disease process. So we look at that, and we look at just restoring the connection between the brain and the body.
So can that actually prevent some damage that we already have within the body if we, have a particular illness or disease?
Absolutely. That's where we like to work. That's kind of my niche. Although a lot of people, excuse me, come in when they're already in pain and there's already a lot of damage. I like to educate on people on prevention and just keeping the connection clear between the brain and the body, because that's where true health comes from, is in that connection where that reception between the brain and the body is cleared.
So somebody who is right now in optimal health, can they experience benefits by coming to you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Athletes, a lot of people use it for peak performance, because your body can't work properly if that connection is not clear.
That's awesome. I think, that gives a lot of people hope, right? Because I think many people who are experiencing illness feel like they're just resigned to have to deal with it and put up with it.
Absolutely.
And modify their lives, right? But it can help to restore quality of life.
100%.
Which is priceless.
100%.
So how often would you say somebody should be coming in? What does a treatment look like?
It really depends on what you come in with. If it's wellness care, I have wellness people that come in once a month. I have others that come in once a week, and others that come in, I have some elderly patients that come in 4 times a year, okay? When you're in crisis, oftentimes it takes momentum. We need to kind of build your body's momentum. We need to build some momentum so that your body can kind of transform and get out of the crisis, heal from the crisis, then build a better foundation, and then work towards wellness and keeping it clear.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want to maintain that. And what about somebody who maybe just wants to come for improvement in flexibility? Is that something that can happen?
I mean, it could improve in many different ways.
Right.
So flexibility, not specifically, but I think once your body's aligned and better balanced, everything improves. Flexibility improves. Everything improves when you're balanced, and your nervous system and your brain and body are connected and working as they're designed to.
Right. So what are some of the concerns that you've seen with patients coming into your practice that you have helped them with?
Oh, it ranges. I have people crawling into the clinic almost in acute pain, right? So a lot of people suffer with sciatica and low back pain. A lot of people are coming in with head forward posture because we're on our cell phones and working on computers. So the shoulders are like this. We're not meant to live like that on a daily basis, right? We were never sitting so long, and now people are spending their days and all their hours in front of a computer. So it's really causing problems in the spine, and it's causing problems in their health. So I'm seeing a lot of people for pain, obviously. Others, kids, a lot of ear infections or breathing problems. Women, I'm especially seeing a lot of women right now for anxiety. Mothers that have had children and are not sleeping, and when we have babies, we give them our all, and oftentimes we put ourselves on the back burner, so we suffer. And a lot of people are having digestive issues, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome. I see a lot of just digestive issues in general.
Yeah, I think I certainly hear a lot more about it as well, whether it's in media or just people in general talking about the intolerances, the sensitivities, the IBS, what have you. And so it's nice to know that there are some natural alternatives.
Absolutely.
Instead of taking pills or medications. And certainly I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing. Of course, you want to consult with your doctor. We have a doctor right here. But so can you continue to take medications while you're experiencing chiropractic care?
Absolutely. So, I never advise anybody. I don't take anybody off their medications.
Right.
Medications, a lot of people just don't know that there are alternatives. So oftentimes people will take themselves off of their own medications as they need to. Maybe they don't need to be taking headache medications 5 times a week anymore. So they'll say to me, oh, my diabetes is better, or my headaches are better. I don't have to take Advil or Aleve 5 times a week anymore. I only take it once. So that's just a symptom or a side effect of their body healing. So
Fantastic. And so what about light therapy? Do you incorporate any sort of light therapy or radio wave therapy as well?
I don't. There are a lot of new things that are coming out. We were just at a seminar with regards to cold light or laser therapy. So a lot of techniques can be applied. I don't specifically use them with my protocols as of yet, but I am looking into, because it's huge.
It's always evolving,
absolutely.
Right? The upkeep, I'm sure,
absolutely.
the learning.
Absolutely. And you know what? You almost need more tools in your toolbox, because 20 years ago when I first started, people could hold their adjustments. And now I find that people have a hard time holding their adjustments after a week. So whereas before they could hold it for even a month, 2 weeks to a month, and they'd come back and it wasn't so bad, but they're coming back a lot sooner, needing the more work. So there's a lot more interference and a lot more stress that we're dealing with in today's day and age, even, compared to 20 years ago when I started.
Oh, I can imagine the difference. Absolutely. And I think social media on top of that is a stressor. So you were talking earlier about how we're sort of hunched over, so you can see that difference in the spine and the neck or what have you. But what about the organs? Can chiropractic help with the organs? Because as we're crunched over, I can imagine that's affecting the organs in the body as well.
Absolutely. So one of the things specifically with the head forward posture is when people are carrying their heads forward like this, it's putting all the stress on these extensor muscles and the upper back.
Right.
The upper back, the nerves that come out of that upper back go to your heart and to your lungs and to your stomach. So oftentimes when you're holding your head like this, and imagine years of stress that's just accumulating there, it basically suffocates the airways and the energy getting to your lungs and to your heart. So a lot of times when I feel subluxations or these nerve interferences at the base of the neck or the top of your spine.
Is that what a subluxation is?
A subluxation is actually basically nerve interference caused by bone out of place, putting pressure on that nerve. So it's disturbing the energy and the flow of life from the brain to the body.
Wow. Yeah. So I know a lot of people have degenerative disc disease and what have you, and I guess that kind of ties in there as well. Can that actually be reversed through chiropractic or relieved?
It can be relieved, in my opinion. So what you want to do is basically I take x-rays with all my people to see, because there is always some level of degenerative disc disease that exists, and we look at the severity of that. Can it be reversed? Oftentimes I tell people it's very hard to reverse that, but what we can do is stop it from getting worse. So it's an area of increased wear and tear. So what we want to do by keeping you adjusted and keeping the alignment balanced, it decreases the amount of wear and tear, and it kind of redistributes everything so that the body can work in a more balanced state.
So if we have had a chiropractic treatment and, you know, you've used the modalities that you use in your office, what can we do at home, or is there anything that we can do to sort of maintain those results?
Oh, 100%. Keeping active is huge. Everybody asks me, are there exercises that I can do? And of course there's exercises that we can do. I'm always pushing people towards core, you know, whether it's a yoga routine or Pilates, something to work on the core muscles is where it's very important. A lot of times we're working on extremities. We'll work arms and legs and shoulders, and that is all important, but our core, we oftentimes ignore our core, and that's our powerhouse. That's where everything comes from. So I believe that that's where it needs to be the strongest. Obviously, practicing good posture.
Yes.
Right? Keeping ourselves up. And I know it's hard, and I tell all my patients, I know that computer sucks you in, you know, when you're on it for a long time. But just kind of keep reminders, almost setting something on your clock, or just to kind of remind you every hour to kind of get up, move around. You can't sit all day.
That's a great advice, because you know, they say that movement is medicine.
Yes, right? Movement is life. Motion is life. When it's not moving, it's not a good thing.
I also heard that they say that sitting is the new smoking, right?
Yes.
And that's scary when you think of it that way, but you're right, we do need to get up, we need to move, and obviously if you're not physically able to have a lot of exercise, just anything, if you just get up and you walk for 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I have elderly patients, and I tell everybody it's about finding something that you love. So it's not exercise, whether it's taking a walk or stroll. You know, go into a mall. Some of these elderly people are walking in the mall. You know, getting outside in nature is obviously better. So not everybody has to go to the gym, although the gym is great for people that works for them. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So what does a healthy lifestyle look like for you?
For me, a healthy lifestyle is a balance between a healthy mind, body, and soul. So spirit comes into play in a big way here. Physically, having balance and strength and all of that physically, and then emotionally, just, you know, keeping everything in check. Emotions play a huge role in our health. So whether that's planting seeds on a daily basis and reading good things, excuse me, like good things, and it's not even just positive thinking, it's about self-development and always looking within, working to kind of just develop yourself on a regular basis. And obviously eating well. What we put into our bodies is a major has a huge role.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of the toxins in our environment
Yes.
from pollution and certainly the foods that we eat
Yes.
wreak havoc on the body, right?
100%.
So chiropractic can help with that. What about the connection, the emotional connection? Does chiropractic sort of help to maybe unblock some of the emotions in the body?
It can. It's not specifically what we work with, although I can tell you, once you balance the nervous system and restore that connection between the brain and the body, you can go through stuff that's called retracing, and it just unleashes you from the inside out. Oftentimes we bury traumas. It's about micro traumas that we bury, and whether they're emotional, that's a huge part, but it is also physical and chemical. But emotions, we just bury them in there, and once we start getting adjusted and we start feeling that connection, that brain and the body is that connection and that reception is restored, your emotions, I mean, everything gets better and everything gets released and it comes up for you to face, because whatever we bury is kind of how disease, it can make it thrive.
And what we repress will eventually come out, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. What we repress is eventually was what we express. I think that's the saying or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so true. I think that we all have somebody in our lives that is experiencing maybe not optimal health, they're not feeling their best, or perhaps that's you. And it's so important to really take control and to do something for yourself and to get that better health, because really it changes the quality of your life on a daily basis. And you know, it's hard to watch people in your life around you struggle with that sort of a challenge, right? And I find that chiropractic care is certainly an option, and it's a healthy option. It's a healthy alternative. You know, there's so many techniques, there's science behind it to back it. And so let's talk a little bit more about the your modes of targeting pain. So like assessing somebody in terms of their ailments.
So what we do, and I just want to go back to what you just said, because oftentimes we don't even know how far reaching it can be. And specifically speaking about a patient that is fairly new, she's been with me about 3 months now, and she's been under chiropractic care for many, many years, but she was in just an amazing amount of pain. And she came in, and you would never even know, because she's a beautiful lady, and she's got everything going for her. And when we assess her, we do a neurological scan. And the scan basically shows me two things. It shows me how balanced a person is, and it shows me how much stress their system is under. So we did the scan with her, we did some x-rays. She definitely had some degenerative disc disease and some damage in her spine. And her scan was very, very active, very lit up. And when it's like that, color means stress. So when there's a lot of color on the scan, it tells me that the nervous system is under a lot of stress. So nothing can work properly when it's stressed. So initially my care plan, she came to see me for the first month, and then we were to redo the scan. And initially she came in and she was lit up, and she told me she was in pain, but then after 12 visits with her, she revealed to me, because she was much more balanced, the stress on her spine was probably more than 50% decreased, so there was better function. Her pain was still quite severe, but I had no idea. She must have been downplaying it, and she actually told me, she said, "Before I came in to see you, I was contemplating killing myself."
Oh dear.
And that's something, honestly, my heart just, I had no idea, because that's not something that she revealed to me initially. So I was so grateful that we were on the right track, and that she was seeing some results.
Oh, that is
so
amazing. Yeah.
It's so far reaching. So her scan, and that's basically how we measure. When we assess them, that's a big part of my protocol, is to initially find out what their system is like, because a lot of people don't want to tell you. You know, they'll tell you what's happening, but it's very subjective, right? So their pain could be very, very severe, like this woman's was, and she would put a 5 out of 10. So it's not that bad. So it's very hard to read. You don't know how a person is feeling until you actually start to work with them. So
yeah, oh, I'm so glad that she came in.
me
That is
too.
amazing.
Me too.
Oh,
it
my
was
gosh.
like I think we were
Yeah.
both had tears in our eyes that day. I wasn't expecting that, but it was
Wow.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
it can be so beautiful.
Well, there's a lot of people who are experiencing pain for years.
Yes,
And it
chronic.
can totally affect your mood, your mentality, how you react with people.
Yeah.
It can keep you at home because you
Yeah.
don't feel like being around people, or your
Yes.
tolerance is also low for so many things, understandably so. It's devastating to have to experience that.
Yes.
But I love that there's options that you can try. Now, for somebody who has never tried chiropractor, never even thought of it, or they heard about it and they thought, well, I'm not sure that I want to do that. I heard that people don't wake up the next day, or not don't wake up but they can't move the next day. What can you tell them?
So my practice is, I have a referral-based practice. So the people that do come to me, they've been referred in, and it's about finding the right chiropractor that works with you.
Okay.
A lot of people, there's huge misconceptions about chiropractic, so I think you just kind of need to interview. I tell all people, even patients that are moving away to different cities, I'm like, not every you have to go in and meet the chiropractor, because you just have to find the right fit for you. I'm not the right fit for some of these people that are big, sports athletes, rehab. That's not me. That's not my tribe. They're going to be disappointed when they come and see me. I'm about connection. I'm about vitality. I'm about bringing value to your life and to your health in more the ways than one, because I treat the body as a whole. I think it's definitely worth, I don't think anybody has anything to lose. Go to a chiropractor that's trained in multiple different techniques. Everybody's afraid of getting cracked. You don't even have to get cracked anymore.
Yeah.
I do 12, I'm trained in 12 different techniques. So I work with infants to the elderly and everybody in between. Don't get me wrong, I have those patients that come in, they're like, make sure I hear it, So they wanna feel it.
Right.
They want that, and you know what? If it's right for them and that's what their body needs, then we can do that for them. But there's other ways to adjust the spine that's very gentle, yet impactful and very powerful, very energetic, and we have tools that we can use, and it's just all about synchronizing the nervous system.
Welcome back to the studio here at 5D TV. I hope you are enjoying our special video presentation. While we still have a ways to go in the video, I wanted to stop for a moment and take you on a tour of the website, 5D.tv. When you're on the website and you scroll down the main page, you will see categories like documentaries, alternative medicine, series, inspiration. All you need to do is click on one of those categories and it'll take you to another page where content is organized within that category. And then just click on a video or podcast that you want to watch or listen to. It's that easy. 5D.tv can be accessed literally anywhere around the world that is plugged into the internet, and you can use it on your iPhone, your iPad, and even laptop. You can watch countless hours of mindful content that's going to help nurture your personal development and your spiritual growth. And it's ad-free. Oh, and I do suggest that you have a notepad and pen handy when you're watching the content on the network, just in case you want to record any aha moments, insights, or revelations you get along the way. I hope that this brief introduction to our website, 5D.tv, helps you to navigate easily through it. And now let's get back to our Health and Wellness Summit.
I've had several chiropractic treatments, and I was one of those skeptics in the beginning.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I don't know. I heard all these horror stories, but I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance and try it out because I always like to have my own opinion.
So great.
Yeah, and I could not believe the difference literally after one session.
Yeah.
I was like, why have I tortured myself
Yes.
and put up with this pain when it was just like this?
That's how I've built my practice, on people like you, because they come come in scared,
Yeah.
and then they refer their family and friends, and they say, go see her. And oftentimes it takes them a long time for the people to come in, but once they do come in, they have that same reaction. So that's great.
So what was your reason for becoming a chiropractor?
Interesting. I actually was I worked with a physiotherapist. My mom was a nurse, so I grew up in the medical mind thinking.
Healing.
And yes, so I always was that different kid though. I would go to the natural health food stores, I'd spend a lot of money on stuff, and my sisters would just make fun of me, you know? So I always
buying chocolate and candy. Yeah.
No, I was buying teas and herbs and all. That intrigued me.
Right.
So I worked with a physiotherapist in co-op in high school, and then they hired me on. So I learned a lot from them, and I'm forever grateful. And it was more sports, rehab, that type of stuff. And it was great. Like I did some kinesiology work. I worked with workout programs. I'd put their patients on, and I'd, do hot packs and cold packs. And then I was actually going into physiotherapy, and then I just researched, and I learned that as a chiropractor, you'd become a doctor, for one, and you would learn physiotherapy, you'd learn massage, and you'd learn chiropractic. And now I was like, well, why not do it all?
I love it.
I was in that mode, right? And so I did, and I went and I did my pre-med at university, and I went into chiropractic, and it was in my first philosophy class where I really learned the philosophy of chiropractic, and I just fell in love. And I think intrinsically I was always drawn towards that. I always knew my body healed itself, but I didn't really know because I couldn't articulate it. It wasn't spoken to me. It was, and then I kind of just learned the philosophy, and then I fell in love with it, and we went from there.
Wow.
So so I did learn physio, I did learn massage, we learned it all in school, but then once I got out, I just really, found my niche and just really focused on chiropractic. There's great physios and there's great massage therapists. You don't need to be it all.
Yeah.
So is what I learned. So
if you want it all,
yes,
go for it. You don't need to do it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be a specialist of your field, and I wanted to master, and I still am mastering my craft. So
well, I guess you're learning from your patients as well. Everybody's different,
Absolutely.
and you're seeing responses, and I can imagine how validating it is for you to see that and to see those results in patients.
It's fulfilling. So fulfilling. It's beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. So can you tell us and explain what innate intelligence is?
Innate intelligence is that inborn healer that exists within each and every one of us. The Indians call it prana. It's an energy. Chinese call it chi. And it's that extra something, because we're more than the sum of our parts. And I always tell people, what's the difference between a dead body and us? What is the difference?
Energy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
what innate intelligence is, because it has a brain. Like your
Right.
brain and nerve system control everything, right? But a dead body has that brain and nerve system, but there's no life. It's that life force. That's what innate intelligence is, and that's what heals us.
Wow. Okay. And what about the medical model?
The medical model, that's an open-ended question. The medical model, you know what? I'm not a medical basher. I'm truly grateful for it. I just think that it's a major contradiction. And I believe that our medical model is designed for crisis and trauma. And I think we're specialists in that. I don't think it's healthcare, and I think that's the biggest contradiction that exists today. And I think that we need to teach people to take responsibility for their health, and I don't think the medical model does that.
Well, often it's the Band-Aid solution. It's the quick fix.
Exactly.
We want you to feel better. Here's this.
Exactly.
You're going to
Well,
feel
they
better.
save lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They say like 100%. But there's a lot you can do before you get there. Not talking about major traumas, but absolutely. Like if we take responsibility for our health and promote health, not even prevent it, just promote it on a regular basis, a lot of times, a lot of these diseases and you know, people wouldn't be dying from, they wouldn't be killing the people in our countries. We wouldn't have, you know, we wouldn't have so many sick people. And I mean, if it was drugs and surgery that would be the answer, then we would be seeing people in better health. And I don't think that we're doing that. I think everything is escalating. And things are getting worse, not better. So we need to change things. We need to change our thinking and take some more responsibility for our life and our health.
Well, speaking of responsibility, what kind of responsibility have you taken for your health, and what's your routine? Do you have a routine?
Absolutely. Most of the times. I'm 80-20, so just to be fully transparent. So, you know what? I love yoga. So I'm very active. So I do it at least 3 to 5 times a week. And sometimes it's just 20 minutes, to be honest with you. Other times, if I have an hour, I'll definitely, you know, my family and I love to go on nature hikes. We love to spend time in nature. So we'll go into the forest and we'll go to go for a hike. I love my day when I can start it with meditation, just setting my mind in a good place from the moment I wake up. And I love to do that 7 days a week. And again, I'm 80-20, but my day definitely reflects it when I can do it. I'm just more centered. So meditation, I think, is huge. I get adjustments at least once a week, sometimes 2 myself. I go for massages once a month. I get acupuncture done at least once a month, if not more. I'd love to have more. You know, I go for emotional clearings because I know that emotions build up on our bodies, and I want to be that. I want to be uncovering my layers and just really getting to my core and just, you know, getting in touch and expressing who I am from the inside out.
Authentic self shine through.
And I mean, I'm so blessed because I have a husband that is a chef, and he's very anal about what we eat, so he cooks for us. So what I'm eating most of the time, it's my own discipline where I veer off, but
80-20?
80-20. So, but you know, he cooks us beautiful meals and that are balanced, and you know, and we're reading. Like I'm always at the cutting edge of research and looking at what's better. You know, I just recently read Dr. Gundry's books, learned about lectins. You know, I thought I was eating tomatoes and cucumbers, and now I've taken them out of my diet, and it's been so much better. So I'm just always keeping my mind sharp, you know, practicing my craft, and always, you know, learning about my career, because my career it's a blessing what I get to do. It doesn't feel like work, which is, I realize how blessed I am. So I'm just always learning, and that's what I try and do.
Well, I think that ties into the whole idea of chiropractic, where
Yes.
you know, you're really learning about your
Yes.
body.
Yes.
So really important, I think, to look at the foods that you're
Yeah.
ingesting, and looking at the research and knowing, does this work for me, or
Yes.
is it not? Does it not apply to me? Right?
Absolutely.
You know, it's so interesting. You were talking about Dr. Gundry, and I think, you know, we always think that, okay, well, a vegetable, it's healthy, we're going to eat it. But if you're finding that you're experiencing inflammation or what have you, then that's something that you need to personally avoid.
Absolutely.
You know, it's also you know, learning about some plants where, you know, they give off a chemical,
Yes.
right, from the predators, and we're not really meant to eat those.
And we're the biggest predator.
Yes.
So they can cause us big problems.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I learned that, and it's just about evolving, and each time, like, I love learning new information and just tweaking the lifestyle. And what I say to patients when they come in to see me is, chiropractic is a lifestyle, and it's a success strategy for people that want to be healthy. It's not a treatment for anything. you know?
Yeah.
So, then I coach them and I give them little tidbits on exercise or their foods or what they can be doing, like turning off CP24 before they go to bed.
Oh, that's a big one. I know.
You know, so
the
it's
stressors.
amazing what people fill their minds with,
Yeah.
and then they can't sleep, or they're having bad dreams, or they're having anxiety.
Yeah.
Well, stop watching the news. You know,
Yeah, totally.
watch 5D TV.
Yes,
Right?
yes, absolutely.
Right?
Be
Like get
inspired,
inspired.
yes.
People are so they're living in fear, and everything is so fear based. So I'm that person that doesn't watch the news. And again, some people will make fun of me for that, but I will learn about all the stuff that's going on in the world. I'm not
100%.
missing out.
It's
I
so
don't.
true.
I
People
need
talk
to.
about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
I need to live and surround and protect my energy.
Yeah, I totally can relate to you.
Yes.
I'm exactly the same. I mean, I used to watch the news all the time. I'd read the papers, I'd be caught up on everything, and then I realized this is really stressing me out.
It's depressing.
Yeah. I want to hear
honestly,
the good stuff.
I have people coming in their 20s and 30s, and they're like on depression meds, and they're on anxiety meds, and it's like something's wrong here. So
Well, I think we're so connected globally. We have access to everyone and everything, essentially. And we're bombarded with too much. We're overwhelmed, right? Processing all of this information.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, even I would notice the difference if I were to watch, let's say, more of a suspense thriller movie at night, and then I would have nightmares or have a dream that was like, oh my God, this person was being followed or somebody's followed. And I'm like, well, it's because I was watching a movie, and that's
So
related to that.
interesting. Yeah. After having kids, I have no tolerance for that. I can't watch a scary movie.
Wow.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So
I think it's something too, perhaps as we age, I'm just saying because I have the same issue with roller coasters.
Yeah.
I used to love roller coasters, and well, I'm not even know if I'm sure that I love them, but I would go on them. Let's put it that way. Yes. And then one time I was on it and I realized, I'm not enjoying myself. So why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this?
just that awareness, right? I think that is magic right there, because we do things and we don't even realize that we're not enjoying them, but we're stuck in that pattern. And I mean, that makes us unhealthy too, because we're forcing ourselves to do something that we're not even enjoying.
Absolutely.
So just that mindfulness of stepping back and saying, hey, am I enjoying this? Is this right for me? Is this food right for me?
Yes.
How do I feel when I have this food? How do I feel after I had that adjustment? Like, let's have a deeper look and make those connections, and then make different choices, because the choices that we did make when we were 10 and 20, even 30, might be different than, in later years or any time, right?
Indeed.
So,
sometimes our choices change in a
Absolutely.
day, many times.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I try and, really educate my kids on that too, right? So it's like, what's right for you? Like, I want to teach them to think.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's why I think it's so key to know yourself, know your body, take control, and do what you can. And you know yourself best. And yes, we need to seek help from professionals and really assist that. But again, it's that awareness. And I always say, with the awareness, you're already 75% of the way there.
Right. Right.
It's like that special moment. Where
I tell my patients, you're your own best doctor. Like, doctor means teacher.
Yeah.
So you're your own best doctor. We just need to uncover. I'm your facilitator, really. I just need to help you uncover your best you. And that may be doing that definitely through adjustments, but also through coaching them and helping them be aware of their decisions and their thoughts. A lot of people are just so unconscious and not even aware.
Do you ever offer tools like journaling? Would you offer that as
Definitely.
help?
Definitely. Yeah, that was a practice that I was doing regularly, and I've recently, but thank you for that reminder, because I'll get back on that.
Yes, good. Yeah.
So helpful, right? When we're writing down our thoughts. Yes, it's very, very helpful, because oftentimes we're holding all of that in our heads and it's just chaos.
Yeah.
And we can't be our healthiest self when we're holding all those, to-do lists and thoughts and, what ifs and what should I do? We can't hold it all. But if we're journaling it, it's such a beautiful thing. And also being grateful. right?
Yeah, that's a big one for me too.
Right?
I practice
Being
gratitude
grateful,
on
yes.
a daily basis.
Absolutely. Before we go to bed with the kids, we ask them, we always do, like a grateful list, which is so great because they're so young, and if we can get them into those habits now, then we hope that they adopt those habits for a lifetime, because I mean, we need to be grateful because life is a gift.
It certainly is. And I think when we are, you know, doing a practice of gratitude where you're writing things out, it's so much easier to spot all of the things to be grateful for, right? Because now that's what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
As opposed to focusing on the negativity or the stressors that are around us, and it will continue to be around us. But as you say, it's a choice.
Honestly, I spend a lot of time even talking to patients about that, because they're always focusing. It's so easy to focus on what's going wrong in your life or in your health, or you know, so it's nice to pinpoint and try and just transition their thoughts, or just help direct their thoughts to something else.
Absolutely.
And focus on gratitude.
Yeah, well, this was an amazing interview. Thank you so much
for
for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely. Thank you.
And can you tell everyone how they can find you?
So it's K-O-R-E, energy, ENERGY.ca. Korenergy.ca is my website. That's at 905-369-5433. I'm here in Mississauga, Ontario, serving the whole community, Oakville, Mississauga, whoever wants to drive out.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Nancy Korenic,
Thank
for being here.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have enjoyed this video interview with Dr. Nancy Korenic. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, please visit our website at www.5d.tv and subscribe to one of our memberships. By supporting 5D TV, you can help us continue to produce incredible, meaningful content that can really help your well-being. Thank you so much, and have an amazing day.